I really feel like I got such a good deal on these deck chairs. Like, it was just one of those perfect Facebook Marketplace moments where I saw them and I immediately messaged the lady and was immediately just like, please, I will come pick them up right now. Where are you? I will get them. I'm not even going to barter with you. This is a great price. Just let me come pick them up. They were that good. Nothing was growing on them. The wood was fine. Literally, other than the fabric, which I was going to replace anyway, it was in such good condition that I couldn't say no to it. Hi, my name is Kelsey. If you are new here, I do a bunch of DIY and upholstery projects on this channel. I am a pattern designer by trade, but I always have loved doing home decor and just flipping furniture. And in this video, we're actually going to be flipping a pair of deck chairs that I found on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the first thing I did for the chairs was actually measure the existing fabric. The lady used that Dawn dish soap mixed with paint kind of a DIY. I knew already I was going to get some regular outdoor fabric. I actually found mine on onlinefabric.com or something like that. I'll have it on the screen what it was called, but it's really good outdoor fabric, and I found the exact like even color tone that I was looking for. I am located on the shoreline of Connecticut, so I knew my audience, if I did want to flip this, was going to be more of a beachy look to it. I knew I wanted the classic pinstripe look for the fabric. Now, as far as actually sewing the fabric goes, it was literally kind of just copying and pasting what was already existing. I did make my chairs a little bit wider to sit on, just so, I don't know, to me the others were a little too thin. Now, the thread is a thicker, almost vinyl threading. It's very thick. It almost feels like a rope more than it does a thread. And then the needle was an upholstery needle. It's very thick because of the outdoor fabric. It's just a very thick fabric because it is waterproof and so resilient to the outside weather. You need a really good needle to be able to do that. The actual assembly was actually really easily. I sewed the edges so that way they were clean edges, they weren't going to fray, and then I literally just made a loop at the top and a loop at the bottom that were big enough to be able to fit the actual dowels. Now, as far as the wood goes, we had to go outside for this. I bought teak oil, and I was really just going about the process of refreshing the chairs. They were in really good condition, and all I had to do was a light sand and then using a damp microfiber cloth, just wiping it down after I sanded it. That way everything was smooth. No one was in danger of getting any splinters. But like I said, I got a deal on these deck chairs and they were in really good condition. A lot of outdoor wood here ends up being very like something's growing on it or is very chipped and cracked, and these were not that at all. I don't know where she was storing them, but they were amazing. As far as the teak oil goes, this is the first time I actually ever used teak oil, and it was relatively easy. I did put down a towel for like actually staining it, because if you've watched one of my last videos, we just redid this patio and I'm not trying to get any kind of stain on this patio pavers. So just for safety, I did that, as well as wearing gloves. And it's really just dabbing a little bit of the oil on a rag and then wiping it on. I ended up doing 3 coats just because every time we'd finish and I'd let it dry, I felt like it needed a little bit more. Like the wood was just, it looked thirsty, if that makes any sense. And so it ended up being 3. I really like the way it turned out. It was a really like that warm, rich teak color that I really love. And the before and after is crazy. I mean, one is almost like a bleached wood versus the other is almost leans more mid-century modern of the wood tone colors. And it just looked so good. Now, as far as like assembly goes, it was really easy. I didn't end up actually filming the assembly part, but it was just getting the fabric, putting the dowels in between, and then putting them on the deck chairs. It was very easy assembly. The same way I disassembled was the same way I assembled. Now, the setup here is a little weird. I wanted to be outside, but it is actively raining, and it has rained for 14 weeks in a row. Apparently, we hit some kind of record, but I wanted to get this video out to you, so I decided to set this up in our living room, give you a little bit of greenery since I can't be outside, and kind of break down everything, how it went, if I would change anything, and my future plans for these chairs. I love the way these turned out. They looks so good. I hope it's like turning out the same on camera, but this is like the prettiest rich wood tone. It's just, I love the way this turned out. It was the first time I've ever used teak or like even worked with teak, so I really wasn't 100% sure how this was going to turn out, but it's so good. I know not everyone likes the red tone of teak. Some people prefer the gray, but I love this like rich reddish brown tone. It's just so pretty and it brings so much warmth. As far as like a breakdown goes of the cost of everything, I got both chairs for $20. The outdoor fabric I found online for 18. I ended up buying outdoor thread just because I wanted it to be able to be outside and withstand all of the harsh elements of being outside, especially being on the coast. Everything breaks and rips and rusts so much faster because of the sea salts in the air. So I wanted a very sturdy thread so nothing would come apart. This one almost feels like synthetic or like waxy, but it's a very thick thread. I ended up getting a new like heavy duty needle for my sewing machine to make these, but overall it really wasn't a lot. I think total with like the chairs, fabric, and extra supplies, I am in for about 50 bucks, which is nothing really. These each retail for like $100 each, and I was able to pick the fabric myself. So I think that's a win. As far as the actual DIY goes, I would say it was pretty easy. I've never personally worked with teak before, so I was very excited to do that, but it was a very easy wood to work with. I lightly hand sanded and then wiped with a microfiber cloth everything from like the dowels and all the little pieces and the little cracks and crevices of the chair. And it might have taken me like an hour to do both chairs. After that, it was just a simple oiling. I put a little bit of oil on a towel, rubbed it over all of the wood, all of the little pieces, and then let that sit for an hour. Then I would come back, repeat that step over again without the sanding, just the oil part. I think I ended up oiling them 3 times just because one, they were really dry, they hadn't been oiled in a very long time, but two, I wanted these to be able to look really good and stand up to any heat that the summer might bring. As I say that, I find the irony that it is the middle of June and it is raining and it's going to continue to rain until into July. So I don't know if these chairs will ever actually see the sunlight, but if they do, they are very protected with the teak oil. I am thinking of posting these on Facebook Marketplace and possibly selling them. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I would happily keep them, but we did just acquire some more outdoor furniture from our neighbors, and it doesn't really match, which is fine, but just like what we actually need, we don't need 2 sets of outdoor furniture. And those are a little bit more heavy duty and more year round, and I don't know. I feel like I can sell these much easier than I can probably sell those other ones. The other ones are perfectly good quality. I don't need to like do any kind of DIY to them. And I do know that these are very popular right now, so I'm kind of intrigued to see if I could flip these. Right now, I'm all in about $50 for all like buying the chairs, the fabric, the threading, the teak oil, all of that. I'm about $50. And I've seen online that just one of these chairs you would have to buy brand new for 100. So maybe this will be my first flip. I've never flipped furniture and then put it on Facebook Marketplace before. So I'm not really sure if this would even work, but I kind of want to see. I kind of want to test the theory and see if I could flip furniture because this was really fun. I love doing mixing sewing and woodworking together, and this was kind of like the perfect marrying of the two. And I'm kind of intrigued to see if I would be able to sell them. So I'll keep you updated if that actually does happen, but I might end up putting these on Facebook Marketplace and just seeing if I get any bites. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for staying until the end. It really helps my channel out, and I will see you in the next video.